This technique isn't as reliable as using the full finger swipe. Now the next feature I want to highlight is built into the S Health app, which is the heart rate monitor. So as you can see, when you click start, all you have to do is tap your finger to the sensor on the back. It lights up automatically for you and begins measuring your heart rate. There you go, 82 beats per minute. If you want to reset it, click start. Again, press your finger to the back, lights up for you, begins measuring. 92 beats per minute. So let's try again, one more time. There we go. Now the other big feature here is the IP67 certification, which means this device has been designed to resist water and dust. In fact, if we look at the flap here covering the USB port, you'll see that it's actually lined in rubber to seal out water and dust. In fact, when you charge this device and pull out the charger, you'll actually get a little reminder telling you to make sure that that flap is completely closed for water resistance. Now this also means that exposed elements like the speaker and headphone jack are also waterproof, as is the earpiece, which may account for the fact that the earpiece seems to be a quick demo of the water resistant capability of this phone. Now you should keep in mind that this phone is not waterproof, meaning you can't just go swimming with it in your pocket, you can't use it in the shower. It's really meant for emergency situations. So for example, if you drop it in the sink while you're cleaning dishes, or if you drop it in the toilet, or if you're sweating while working out, or if it's raining, or if you drop it in the puddle or something like that, you don't have to worry about this phone necessarily being damaged in that event. So if you can quickly take it out, you're fine. But this one can be submerged under 3 meters of water for up to 30 minutes, and you can really push it if you really test it out. But really, it's meant for emergency situations. Now, you can't use the display when it's submerged in water and the speakers are muffled, but everything else seems to work, and it's really there just to keep the phone from being damaged. So I think one of the other major new features here is Ultra Power Saving Mode, which is debuting with the GS5. We really haven't seen something quite like this before. It's not just a simple power saving mode. Now it's giving you an estimate when I activate this feature. It gives me an estimate that with 50% battery life in Ultra Power Saving Mode, I can get 6.2 days out of this phone. So it reduces performance, including the display. So change it to a grayscale display. Allows me to make phone calls, text messages, and even browse the web and some additional apps. And I'll show you exactly how this works. So if we enable this, it's going to change the state of the phone to enable Ultra Power Saving Mode. So it's dialing back performance by closing apps, changing the launcher, that sort of thing. And with an OLED display, if you're not powering the Pixel, it's not lit, so you're saving power. So if you have a black background, none of those pixels are being powered, just the pixels needed for these icons and the text. So that dramatically improves performance. So as you can see, we have a phone dialer here, which resembles the phone dialer we're familiar with. You also have your messaging app. Again, same thing, just dial back for performance. So you can see the colors are just gray. We also have an internet browser, so we can browse the internet. So it's a full browser here, so you can dial in any website you want. You can go right to Google. So the experience is the same, it's just in grayscale. Now you can add additional apps here which are restricted, and also performance of the touch display seems to be reduced. It seems to be less sensitive. So you can add a calculator, you can add the chat on app, clock, Google+, Memo, Twitter, and voice recorder. And that's about all. So if you want to disable this, go to the drop-down notification shade, which is also kind of simplified here. You can also go to your settings, which also has an adjusted interface in Ultra Power Saving Mode. But you can quickly disable this feature by hitting it right there, and it brings it back to normal. All right, so let's take a look at the user interface starting with the lock screen. So as you can see with the lock screen, you get a new unlock effect here, the new sound effect. It takes you directly to your home. You can see that the interface is pretty familiar, but let's jump back to that lock screen to show you that we also get our date and time as well as some weather information. You can also quickly launch the camera right from that lock screen. Now let's take a quick look at that home screen. So as you can see, the experience is pretty familiar. You have your weather and clock widget up top. You have your Google search bar right there. In fact, you can say, "Okay, Google," to activate the feature. We're not going to explore that just at this minute. Now you can edit your home screens by pinching in and out, and as you can see, you have the option to add additional home screens or select which one you want to be the home screen by tapping the home icon up here. You can also drag and drop any one of these to your trash can. Now you can also add your widgets, and under here you can see that they've organized widgets a bit better. So for example, we now have kind of a foldering option. So for example, if widgets come in different sizes, they're all grouped together for you. And then we have search widgets. So for example, if you just don't want to keep swiping between all your widgets, you can just go ahead and search for them directly. You can also set your wallpapers from here as well, and you can go to home screen settings to change the transition effect of your home screens. Card stack is default, but of course you can turn that off or use 3D rotation. You also have the My Magazine magazine viewer, which you can turn off. So let's get to My Magazine. So if we swipe to the left, we get to My Magazine, which is powered by Flipboard. Now we get these individual tiles here, which you can reposition if you want and reorder. And these are basically news feeds. So they feed news dependent on the category, such as arts and culture, science and technology. So for example, I can move these around and they just surface the top story here. What they don't allow you to do is swipe between them, swipe between the stories directly in the widget. You actually have to open it up to see it. Now you can also integrate other things here, including Twitter, Google+, and YouTube, and all that is down here. So for example, I have my YouTube app. I can see the latest feed for my subscription. I can go up here to change my settings. We get a little settings icon. This allows me to add additional tiles or to remove additional tiles. So for example, I have several categories here which I haven't added, such as music, living, food and dining, today's picks, travel, science and technology, which I did add, but if I want to remove it, all I have to do is uncheck it. Down here I have social, which are apps that can take advantage of this feed. So we have YouTube, Twitter, and Google Plus selected, and of course you can add a few more if you prefer. Now, if you want to access these, you just tap on them. For example, it takes me right to the YouTube Flipboard feed. So again, this is, I've logged into my account and this is my subscription feed. Now I can also go up here to my settings and I can change what exactly appears under each category. So for example, under tech and science, I can see all of the things that feed directly into that category. So I can see Apple News, apps, gaming, etc., etc., etc. But I can also see specific websites such as BGR, Digital Trends, and Gadgets. So if I want to add those to my feed, I can do that. CNN Tech, BGR. Now from this window, I can also post directly to my social network. So I see Twitter selected by default. I can also select Google+, or I can log into others such as Facebook to post from here. So all I have to do is enter it into this text box. I can also search for items. So for example, if I want to search for Android stories, I can just type it in. So if we input Android, you can see we get lots of search results from news sites that feed Android news, such as Android Authority, Flipboard panels that search Android, users by the name of Android, Twitter feeds by the name of Android, RSS feeds, Google+, YouTube feeds, SoundCloud, other services, Instagram, as well as Flickr, 500 Pics, Tumblr, and more. Now, if you want to add any of these items to Flipboard, just tap on them, click bookmark, and you're good. Now, if we go to our drop-down notification shade, you can see this has also been slightly redesigned with the circular theme for the quick access toggles. And you can see the ones they've included by default. Now, if you want to see all of them, just tap up here. It shows you all of those quick access toggles, which shows you just how many features are available here. And if you want to access the settings for any one of these toggles, just tap and hold on them. It takes you directly to the settings panel, which explores some of those features. Now, Quick Connect is an easy way of accessing all of the devices sharing a wireless network that this device can control. So for example, it sees my Samsung Smart TV here, so I can launch this to get to that TV to, for example, use the Watch On app to control it. I can also go to my printers, so I can see all my printers here, so I can access my printers or send print jobs to those printers, or I can access my AV receiver, which is equipped with wireless DLNA capability, so I can play back music, videos, or even photos. Now, S-Finder has also been integrated here. This allows you to search the entire device as well as the web for content. So, for example, if you search Android, this searches for everything from the browser to my files to events under S-Planner, settings, web searches. You can also filter this by, for example, the type of media you want to search for, images, music, or videos, the time frame, such as, for example, past 30 days, past 7 days, yesterday, today, or the next 7 days in the case of an event on your calendar. You can also search